Hi, I'm Paul Sansone Jr. from Sansone Jr. 66 Auto Mall. Please enjoy my presentation at the Internet Battle Plan in Atlantic City on relationship selling, make the math work for you. When I saw this title, Internet Battle Plan, that's really what's going on in the industry. There's really a battle currently going on in the industry between the old school, what I'm going to call bricks and mortar dealers, and the new school, which is going to be the virtual dealerships. My topic is about relationship selling and how to make the math work for you. Because I think dealers right now are swinging between the 2 points of, do I jump in with both feet into the virtual dealership? If I'm in the bricks and mortar, how do I transition? So when I go to these meetings in my own BDC department, and just to let you know, the last meeting I was at, I was in Chicago, and I decided personally, I went to that meeting thinking I was going to be the rebel in the bunch, that my topic of relationship selling is going to be contrary to what they're going to be presenting to me at the dealership. And I'll be honest with you, I walked out of that meeting with a completely different atmosphere or a completely different attitude as far as how I was going to grow my business. So I personally at my dealership have jumped in with both feet in both camps, what I'm going to call the bricks and mortar camp and the virtual camp, and I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it and what successes we've had. So relationship selling, if you talk to guys in these rooms next door, you talk to any BDC manager, what has to happen in this industry is BDC departments have to become relevant to a dealer. And what, I forgot your name? What Wendy was mentioning in one of the other meetings was the frustration between the sales department, the internet department, the lack of cooperation. And that's probably the biggest issue that's going on in dealerships now. And BDC departments, and I even have my own guys do it. Well, I sold 10 cars today and we had a 20-car day. I'm responsible for 50 of the deals. That's BS. We have to stop this terminology of us and them. It's really a we. If you get to what a dealership's objective is, the dealer, I don't care if I sell 100 cars out of my BDC, 50 cars out of my BDC. I care if I sell 300 cars. I care if I sell them, well, the bonus would be if I have a higher gross, and a bigger bonus would be if it was CSI, and the dealer's best bonus would be if I could do all of that at the lowest cost possible. That's the million-dollar question. It's not, am I selling it out of the BDC, or am I selling it out of the dealership, or am I selling it out of the service lane, as we were just in a meeting, because all of these opportunities are out there for us as dealers. But what is the most efficient way for us to generate sales at our dealership is all your dealership cares about, all your dealer cares about. Now you guys in the room, if you are the dealer, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not the dealer, you want to be held in a higher regard or higher value in your dealer's eyes, meaning make your department more relevant to him because you can drive more sales to his dealership than the other avenues that are going out there. Dealers today have 2 choices. We have our traditional medias, newspaper, TV, radio, direct mail, referrals. We have our virtual medias, internet reputation management, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. This is where the battle begins. Now, some of the difference between the bricks and mortar and the virtual is just age. You know, if you have a younger person that started up in the business, and I'll be honest with you, I jumped into the internet world only because every time my 17-year-old son or 19-year-old son wanted to get something, they were going here. So I'm like, I am a technology void. I'll be honest with you, you know I have to be there, but I don't, you know, I'm trying to learn as I go. So sometimes the division that you see in dealerships is generational, just simply age. I didn't grow up with this stuff. I'm trying to learn it as I go. And until people of a younger age are in power positions of either running dealerships, that's when you're going to have the true synergy between the virtual and bricks and mortar is in time. But until then, dealers are faced with the dilemma, which camp do I jump into? Am I in the virtual or am I in the bricks and mortar? Here's the math of it. Traditional, first time up, internet leads, whether that be driven through a direct mail piece, whether it be driven through radio, TV, whatever. We have a 9 or 10%, these are NADA statistics, 9 or 10% closing rate on those type of leads. And actually in an internet department, if you're closing 10% of all your leads, I think you're going to say you're doing pretty good. Some of them are doing less than that. Some of them are doing more. This is where most of the dollars are focused by most dealerships. This is where most of the dealers' attention are going to today. Why? In my opinion, because it's easier. It's easy just to spend money either on internet or radio or TV. Sure, do I want to have the most creative ads out there, and that's where the creativity of how do I get more of them. But this is really where all the dealers' attention is. But I'm going to present to you where we have to, next slide, where we have to move more of our attention is to where the math tells us to move it. B-backs, 67%. Repeat buyers, 60%. Referrals, friends, networking, 55% closing ratio. If you're a salesman at the dealership and you had an opportunity to talk to a 10%er or a 50%er, who do you want to talk to? I want to talk to the 50%er. But what's happened in this industry over the last 10 years is it used to be all the professional salesmen were the sharks. Salesmen 10, 20 years ago handled phone calls, did their deliveries, did their own networking, did their own prospecting. There was no BDC, there was no F&I departments, there was no delivery teams, there was no special credit departments. Salesmen did everything. What we've done over the years is we've pulled job description after job description away from the salesman. And what has that done? It's created us at best to have salesmen that are nice people, and this is at best. Salesmen that are nice people that happen to sell cars, that know the product, and at best, nice people. And what it also creates is lazy salespeople. Why? Because we're not even giving them any job responsibilities. The biggest beef in an internet department is that I work my butt off all day long. I talk to this customer for 60 days. Bob's on the floor. He's just hanging out with a cigarette out front waiting for something to happen. My customer walks in and he says, "How you doing? My name's Joe. Let's sit down and fill out a guest sheet." The customer's like, "Guest sheet? I've been talking to somebody for 60 days. What the hell do I have to fill out a guest sheet for? You know everything from my mother's name to my kids' birthdays. I mean, you know everything about me." That's what's going on now at the dealership. That's why we have the divide we had. This is what I'm trying to get our salesmen to do. And Cameron and I have designed products that will put tools back in your salesman's hands that will give them the opportunity to talk to more of these people. Now, why aren't we spending any effort over here? Really, does anybody have in your dealerships a real process for networking? No, seriously, anybody? Has anybody? Okay, what do you do?
Oh, we have our BDC do it.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. Does anybody in your dealership has a sales department or sales team have a process for networking? No. The salesman is left out of the technology game. What I've designed is a product that gets the salesman back in the game, and I'm going to do a little bit of the sizzle here. You know, I'm sure you teach most of this is old school selling. I'm sorry, your name again? Stephen, Paul. Most of my business comes from repeats and referrals from satisfied customers like yourself. Would you mind, this is a gentleman that just bought a car for me, would you mind filling out the names of 3 friends, family, neighbors that might be interested in a car? Is that pretty much the gist of what we're taught? Well, how about, and I'll show you how it actually works, how about I ask Stefan, most of my business comes from repeats and referrals from satisfied customers like yourself. Would you mind joining my easy referral network where you can easily send your friends, neighbors that are satisfied with the services you receive to me as a salesperson? Yes, great. I'm actually going to ask Joe while I'm talking, just fill in your information, and this lead's going to go to my BDC. And now I've easily been able to get Stefan to A, sign up in my referral network, and B, easily send a lead to my dealership. So all you're going to do there is add name, phone number, press send. That lead's going to go to my BDC. Why? Because I want my salesman dealing with more 50% people. I want my salespeople working again. I want my salespeople trained on the art of building a referral network and have the ability to network. You know why not more of this isn't done? Because it's harder. The gentleman, Kevin, over here in the room with the white shirt, we have a Jersey Shore outlet mall is right up the street from us. He went out there and prospected that outlet mall and took 3 or 4 times. But now we have people from the outlet mall with a buying program buying from us. And it's called networking. It's the lost art of the business, but it takes work. That's why we don't have as much of this right now, because we have lazy salespeople, because we've let them be lazy salespeople. What's the beauty of the internet? The beauty of the internet is that it's unlimited leads. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. In today's world, and again, this is where my mindset has changed. And there's value being in both worlds. The virtual world, the beauty of this is there's unlimited leads. If you handle the internet leads well, you will shine so far above other dealers that you're going to be able to move the needle at your dealership just by the power of this. All of these leads funnel into that BDC. And Sean's one of the best BDC managers in the business, but it doesn't come cheap. To have that kind of operation run well doesn't come cheap, and that's the dealer dilemma. Is I feel like I'm layering. I've got all these specializations and I have all these departments, so that's, you know, he's proven to his dealer that's the way to move his business, but he's proven it through his numbers. But that's the beauty of it. Unlimited leads. Handle it well, you can sell a lot of cars. Sales staff doesn't have to do much. Our 10% closing rate customers, generally the lowest gross. Generally, you need a lot of manpower. It's generally a price or offer motivated consumer. They came in because, let's face it, you're 1,000 under cost online. Well, you know, the old adage in the newspaper, if you weren't going to be the cheapest in the paper, why advertise? It's the same right now on the internet. If you're not going to be the cheapest on the Ultima, why advertise? Why do you think the company, I guess I could say, a True Car, which is a performance-based company, has had so many difficulties? Because I, as a dealer, would advertise that invoice. You go 500 under, you go 800, you're 1,000, you're 1,500. Now I get the pleasure of selling you a car, or trying to figure out how to sell you a car from 1,500 under invoice to get you in, and then I still get to pay him a commission. It didn't work for everybody. It may have worked for them, but it didn't work for the consumer or the dealer because of the low gross. We have to balance out the game. We have to get more of this. Now listen, look at these statistics. This is really, you know, I sat in that service meeting, and I've sat in the other BDC, Sean's seminar, the BDC seminar. They were all about the same. Two topics were consistent. A, you had to have dealer buy-in, and B, you had to be committed. None of this happens without those two, and I don't care if you want to sell out of the service lane or if you want to work the referral program I'm talking about. Whatever you do, there's going to have to be a level of commitment from the top and all the way down through the line. But some of these statistics, I don't know how you can ignore them. I agree with what the gentleman prior to me said, that the service customer is a very valuable customer. But a byproduct of that is the high salesman's turnover has created that lack of retention, that lack of connection with the current owner base, which is why you need to have that type of product. Everyone's lost connection with their salespeople. 30% of the people have a family member that you're selling a car. 30% of purchasers have a family member who plan on buying within the next 90 days. 60% of all purchasers know someone who's going to buy in the next 60 days. 71% buy because they like their salesman, and the grosses are 40% higher on repeats and referrals than non-repeats and referrals. How can we avoid taking this opportunity? How can we just totally ignore this as a group to focus on? And I'm not saying, like I said, my thinking is completely different the last few months. I'm focusing on my virtual business, but I'm also focusing on my bricks and mortar business by giving my salesmen the tools to build their own network. Because what happens with that? Earn over $100,000 a year. That's where this comes out of, the Joe Verdi book. If we have, all of us have salesmen at our dealership that are making $75,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year, you stop salesmen's turnover, you build dealership loyalty, you build brand loyalty, you build gross. There's nothing negative that happens from having high salesman retention. On the other side, the only thing, everything negative happens with high salesman's turnover. So in other words, you got to help the salesman make money. This is what relationship selling, referral selling is all about. It's about building a business through the salesperson. It's called organic sales, and that's exactly what the terminology the gentleman previous mentioned. It's getting a salesman to build his business within your dealer's business. And that's where the buy-in, and that's where the synergy, and that's where everything comes in. We talked about a program just recently, and this is where we talked about a program in the last presentation about service advisors, TOing up front and everything else. How about if the service advisor could just enter the customer's name and the leads go right to the dealership? All the process happens automatically. You don't have to try to train a service advisor how to be a salesperson. You don't have to train anybody. All you're doing is using them as a lead source. But think about a dealership. My dealership has 15, 18 salesmen. I really have 60 salesmen. Every person in my dealership, from technicians to accounting staff, everybody in my dealership should be promoting Sansone Jr. 66 Auto Mall. Everyone in the dealership should be a salesman of mine. And why don't they? They don't even know half the salesmen out front. With the sales floors turning over 3 times a year, how are they going to get to know the salesman out front? Who do they trust? They don't even buy a car from you because they don't trust in many instances. It's like the Mason-Dixon line between the salesman and the technicians and the salesman. So through the power of networking and referral, this relationship selling, everybody you touch is a referral opportunity. What we need to focus on is balance. You need to focus on your bricks and mortar, and you need to focus on your virtual. A guy like Sean, you know, this is where dealers are grappling with it. You're not hiring $20,000 a year people to run these BDCs. They're managers. They're serious managers running a serious business. And they're running over the sales department because they've been given all the tools and technologies to move forward. The sales departments haven't. They've been lagging behind. We've got to manage all those businesses. So again, we've got to balance it out. If you're gonna live on internet alone, and again, I know some experts in the room are gonna say, I make as much in internet sales as non-internet sales. If you do, great. You're not the norm if you do. The norm is the grosses are lower on those customers than not. So for a dealer to balance it out, I gotta be dealing with more 50%ers. I gotta be dealing with more customers that their margins are higher. And I am not saying that my referrals are laydowns, because they're not. They're customers like anybody else, but there's a trust level that's built prior to them walking into the dealership. It's not that I'm coming to Cameron to buy a car because he's $1,500 below cost. He's coming to Cameron to buy a car because Bob, my friend, said Cameron's a nice guy to do business with. He'll treat you fair. And you'll definitely earn more gross because of that. Again, this is what we're getting to. We got 2 dealerships, the traditional, you got the virtual dealership. We're going to build the teams. The teams have got to work together for this to work. And this is where the great divide comes in. And this is where folks that are in the BDC that have these conflicts have to find a way to make yourself financially relevant to your dealer, not be deemed as an expense. You have to be deemed as an investment. If you're looked at as an expense, you don't have a shot. If you're looked at as an investment, like I said, I have a choice where to put my money. TV, radio, internet, BDC, whatever. You just have to make you more relevant to that dealer. Your choice has got to be more powerful than the others. The other tools that we're offering, besides this referral network that we're talking about, is we're taking it a step further. I want to get salespeople so involved that they've got their own personal websites. this is what we've designed. Their own personal websites, their own 800 numbers, and their own ability to use social media the way it's supposed to be. Everybody wants to be liked on Facebook and all that stuff. I'll be honest, I don't even personally have a Facebook account, so I am not the person to talk about Facebook. All I know is social media has to be social. Do I really want to like Ivory Soap or my dealership? I mean, really, when these businesses are going out to social media and expecting people to get engaged with a business, I don't see that connection. Just as a consumer. But I see a connection to Cameron, who was the ex-Marine, or Bob, who joins this gun club, or Joe, who is part of this religious organization. That's what social media is all about, is connecting to the people that you have some common interest in, relationships. And that's what we've designed through the power of replicating websites, that your salesmen now have the why buy from me. And we've all heard it before. You are a business, your salespeople have to be trained and be given the tools to be a business within your business. Who benefits the most? Your dealer. Your dealer benefits the most. If your salesman, if every one of my salesmen were selling 20, 25 cars a month, I'm the happiest camper in the world. I'll sign those bonus checks all day long. That's not the guy that bothers me. It's the guy that sells 6, 8 cars a month. Those are the ones that bother me. But we've got to give them the tools. Think about it. They've been totally left out of the social world. Now, through the use of these, we've connected, and Cameron can add to what we've added onto the social media side.
Well, yeah, the salespeople themselves already have a bulk of connections, correct? I mean, they have their family, their relatives, their friends, and there's a lot of dealerships out there. I heard it a couple of times today where they said, you know, Facebook was blocked, YouTube was blocked in the dealership. Really, they're not thinking out of the box, because those people are on Facebook, but they're connecting with everybody. I know dealerships where salespeople sell 3, 4, 5 extra cars a month off of Facebook. Facebook is really their personalized CRM. All their contacts are in there. All their communication is there. So how do we harness that power that they have? And think about it like this. You have your website at your dealership, and that's the hub. And I've heard it said many times today to drive more traffic to the website. We got to start doing the basics on our own website. Agreed. But how do you drive more traffic to your website without banner ads and some of the other things? Here's a natural way that doesn't cost you anything. Each salesperson has their own website. That website is tied to all their social media. The website is also tied to your home site. So now if you have 10 salespeople working for you, you basically have 10 tentacles off of your master site that are also reaching out to everybody else's contacts. So what we've done is put a process in place for a professional salesperson to be able to run his own business. We've had those conversations with them in the past. Hey, listen, you're a 25% partner in a multi-million-dollar business, and you have no more of an investment but a black ink pen and a good attitude. We supply the bricks, the mortar, the advertising, the car. How many times have we had that conversation? But we never told them how to do it themselves. I've been in the car business 35 years. I started selling cars. I mean, I remember the days when the professional salesperson was there that you had to compete against. And every month it was competition, right? I mean, back in the days of the demos and the big bonuses and what have you. But Paul's right. We've eliminated everything. And then we wonder why they sit on the golf cart and wait for the 4-pounder to flop in front of them. They don't have anything else to do. So now we can get them re-engaged again.
And I'll tell you the process.
Teaching them how to use those.
I'll tell you how it started at my dealership with 2 salesmen. 2 salesmen, when I design, again, I'll show you the product. This is different from other vendor shows because the vendor, they sometimes don't want you to specifically show the product, which is very difficult when you have something that's new to the market. There's no other product out there in the market, period, for this. So I feel like I've got to show you a little bit of how the guts of it works. But if you think about where we're going with our salespeople, they've got to get engaged. It started with 2 of my salespeople. They started building their referral network. These 2 salespeople have over 500 referral associate bird dogs. For those of us who want to, I call them referral associates. We all come up with nice names now. Referral associates is the same as a bird dog. They have 500, 600 people actively referring people to these guys, and now it's catching on. Now out of 15 salesmen, I probably have 12 out of the 15 that are actively on the program. The same thing is happening with the website designs, that we're empowering the salespeople to build their own business. And again, it's all coming through me. It's all coming through the dealership. which is the beauty of it as a dealer. I'm the biggest beneficiary of the whole process. But the salesmen are getting engaged. One of the gentlemen's Hispanic. He's translating his into Spanish and networking to the Spanish community. That's what this is all about. It's about connecting to the customers and not just being the cheapest price in town. And whatever it is, whether it's a religious organization, whether it's a group you belong to, it doesn't matter. There's a connection that has to get back into the car dealership, into the auto sales process. This is not just black and white paper. This is a people business. And when companies such as TrueCar or whatever try to take the person out of the process, it doesn't work. The salespeople have to get back into the process. I'm just going to show you some of the results. Because everything, again, is about selling cars. First thing you got to get out of this is if you do not have any process, you got to come up with something. The math of some of those statistics we talked about before are just staggering. You've got to have a process to build a referral network. You got to have the tools in order to do it. My dealership, through the same period last year to this year, I actually tracked 88% more referrals during the 5-month stretch or 6-month stretch when I started this process. Now, I'm very anal, and some of you may have heard me mention, I pay my salesmen by the up. They don't get paid a salary. So they're pretty good at making sure every customer gets logged, and I don't care if a guy's back 4 times. You know, they get paid 4 times for that customer to come back, you know, into the dealership. Just has to be logged, just has to be TO'd, and that's it. They get paid for by the up instead of a salary. So I get a pretty good up count. But I had an 88% increase in referrals. This happens to be a study, and there's some guys in the room that know me personally and work for me. This happens to be a study. I bought a dealership 3 years ago that Nissan did what's called a rejector study. There's 245 dealers in the Nissan in the Northeast region, 11 in my district. The question on the Nissan rejector study was, of those people that bought Nissans, local customers of yours that bought Nissans, why did they not shop Sansone Jr. 66 Nissan? So my local customers were asked that bought Nissans, why did they not shop my dealer? 51% avoided the dealership due to prior dealer reputation. So think about that. I bought a dealership that half of the local customers wouldn't even consider shopping at my dealership. You talk about going, you know, fighting uphill. That's fighting uphill. Now this study happened to coincide with me starting the Easy Referral Network. Started in February. This study was from February to July. The same question. So I ranked 239 out of 245 dealers. That's pretty bad. Same question or different question. Customers that purchased from my dealership, how is it that you became aware of the dealership? Almost 30% were recommended by a family or a friend. Number 1 in the district and 42 out of 245. So my way of going to market, building my business through relationship selling and repeats and referrals, clearly worked. Then actually the guy that did the study had to come to my dealership and said, I've never seen a dealer so hated and so loved in the same survey. And again, some of you know my dealership because you're local. You'll know some of the stories are true. And sometimes the math can be a little bit, statistics can sometimes be skewed. But in fact, I moved my dealership up to 83. I used to be ranked 118th in the New York region. Now I'm ranked 83rd in the New York region, all through the power. So not only did I do it through relationship selling, I did volume on top of it. The difference between my program and some of the stuff that you've talked about is it is work, to be honest with you. You're asking your salesman to work. You're asking him to buy in. You're asking them to do what we say in meetings. So it's not a tent sale. You're not going to have, 40 sales in a day. This is my dealership's actual results, and I'll just point to the highlight. The first month I was on the program, I generated 9 leads and 3 sales. Not that much. But after 6 months, the 6th month I generated 78 leads and 36 sales on month 6. So it's a process that grows. The gentleman that was on prior talked about how they install in a dealership, very similar. Our first 90 days is just changing culture. That's all it is, changing culture, asking for referrals, working in the service lanes, talking to the guys on how to build the referral network even from the service department. So it's changing the culture so that every customer you're selling a car to, you're asking them to join your network, showing them how to use the product. But again, in a 6-month period, we sold 120 cars at $2,400 a car, which is about $400 a car higher than my non-referrals. And since then, and actually that's through August, so since then I'm over 206 sales now, so September, October, November, another 3 months, it's been about 30 deals a month that we've been sort of averaging since then. We're delivering 40% of every referral that's coming in because we're making it easy for customers to refer customers to us. All you have to do is, most people, there's 48 million iPhones. Actually, did you get a phone call from my dealership? Is your phone off? I should have told you to leave the phone on. It's more impressive. Because that lead that I sent from my iPhone, oh, you don't have service, okay. Well, anyway, that lead I sent from my iPhone went to my BDC as a customer. BDC, I'm sure you'll have a voicemail or something contacting Stefan. We actually have 3 payment methods for the states that allow referral fees, which is a nice feature. You could either get a Citibank Visa debit card as your referral fee, which is nice and colorful and sits in the customer's wallet. The money for dealers can sit in your service department to be used at your service or can be donated to a charity. One of the most exciting functions of this program has been the active networking we have gotten from our charity organizations, local churches. Every dealer in here gets hit up for donations from the Little League to everything. We now have organizations using the Easy Referral Network to send customers to us as an ongoing fundraiser. Many organizations, many organizations. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to actually send a lead. So I mentioned the process now at a dealership is basically if you just turn a sheet of paper around, ask a customer for a referral, maybe you have a nice form filled out. Now, if I'm a customer, can you go to the salesman's? All right. I'm going to add a referral agent. You got to put in your email address. So all you're doing now is entering the customer into your referral network. And again, it's a little tough to visualize it here, but you have the kiosk at the dealership. Part of our delivery process is just that I mentioned, most of my business comes from repeats and referrals. We mind joining my network. We give them the brochures. We register them in the network. It's as simple as entering their name in the system. Just put your zip code in there. Now Cameron's entered into my network. We mobile link it right to his smartphone, so he's got the icon that I'd mentioned before. That's how easy it is to have someone join your referral network. You could do the technology as a salesman. I could be out at the beach, park, wherever, picnic with my friends, and I could be on my iPhone asking people to join my referral network. The computer keeps track of everything. Like I said, we have a full product presentation in the other room. Do you agree that we have to give our salesmen stuff to do besides just wait for the up bus to show up? Yes. Do you feel that this is a product that could help you do it? I mean, it's the most basic thing in the car business. Build your business through repeats and referrals. And I don't know of another product out there that ties in to the salesman the ability to do it. I think the biggest obstacles you're going to overcome is that it takes work, is the #1 obstacle. It takes work and it takes consistency. Because if any of you have been involved with networking or anything like that, this selling is networking. It's relationship selling. And I don't want it to sound multi-level marketing, but it is having your face out there. Every salesman in the old days used to be handing out their business card. Technology now is just entering them into your iPhone. That everybody that they're referring you to is just pressing a button and sending a lead to the dealership. And the salesman will never get skated on a deal. It's impossible to happen. 2 years down the road, if a customer sends a person in, that salesman will always be attached to that customer. Dealerships have questions on bird dog checks not going out. Can't happen. It happens automatically. Once a sale is marked as a sale, the monies get distributed automatically. You can't ever, if you're a dealer, it happens all the time. Bobby sent in Joe, I owe him $100. Well, how do we know? Well, because he said so. What do? You're giving him a check. You have complete accountability. You know how many referral associates Joe signed up, how many of them were sent into the dealership, how many leads you sold, how much gross you made on them. It's completely seamless. This product is a standalone for, now, I have a vendor relationship that, I don't know, if you're a higher gear dealer, this is all going to be integrated in. If not, it's a standalone. The lead goes into your CRM, but has to be managed, the information has to be managed separately. But I hope the biggest problem you have is that I'm getting so many leads on the Easy Referral Network that I can't manage them all. I mean, that would be a great problem to have. The fact of the matter is, Higher Gear is integrating this software into their package. So if you're a higher gear dealer, you won't have to do double entry. You register and up, it'll automatically be in the Easy Referral Network. This is, again, how the front page looks of the dealership. You can see in almost a 9-month period, I have 1,868 bird dogs registered.
You're setting up like that individual salesperson is going to send out like his own bird dog type of.
No, it's done all electronically.
No, but to those people that are signed into his network, he's going to send out his own, let's say, $500 bird dog charge thing, or.
No, the dealer sets up a referral fee. If you have a bird dog program now, or referral program, the dealer sets up whatever the referral fees are. So if you're a dealer and you say, I don't pay referral fees, then this is not a program for you. If you're a dealer, do you pay referral fees? All right, if you're a dealer that pays referral fees, it's the same thing. You have a $100 referral fee. That's what's going to get sent to the customer with the 3 options.
How many stores besides your one store? How many other stores are actually signed up?
We just came out of beta test 6 weeks ago. So this is really the launch, which is why we have the introductory pricing, which I can get into at the booth with a full demonstration.
If you do a lot of repeat referrals, could it be possible that you got a customer that was walking through the door anyways, but now because he's networked, you're gonna end up paying a bird dog for somebody that was gonna walk through the door anyways?
Absolutely possible.
Okay. You don't really care about that.
No, again, and you talked about the service advisor before, where we talked, for those of us who were in that meeting before, where we were talking about service advisors referring people up front. I'll be honest with you, it's the cheapest $100 I could spend. You talk about, I mean, you know, a technician's wife's referring people to us. She's getting money on her debit card. I mean, really, as far as a win-win-win for everybody, it's actually proven to be a win for the person that's referring, because obviously it's a quick, easy payment. And again, the motivation of I don't want to diminish the value of the referral to the church groups or the fundraising aspect of it. We have as much of that going on as the other. I mean, there's a lot of people in need right now where if you're living in churches or you're around companies, you know, that you can network to, this is a tool that will allow you to actually do it, to have a buying program with ABC Industry, that you can actually have a buying program with it. But yes, is there a referral fee paid? Absolutely, but it's whatever the dealer decides to pay. And the beauty of it is it actually allows me, so I'm a salesman, I've asked Cameron to join my network. Cameron signs up the network. We sell a car, Cameron gets $100. Cameron can also sign up his friend, I'm sorry, your name? Rico. Cameron, he says, you know what, these guys at Sansone, they have a pretty good program going on. Cameron can also sign Rico up. Rico sends somebody to me, the salesperson. Rico gets 100, Cameron gets 50. And again, the dealer decides the numbers. Well, it's only 2 levels, because I did not want, I'll just tell you, it's 2 levels because I wanted to maximize the dealer exposure. But for me as a dealer, if I've got an active referral out there, I have one guy that's a valet parker at Meridian Hospital. He's got about 30, 40 bird dogs under him referring people to me. What do I care? And what dealers spend on advertising to get a customer in the door, if you take out the people that naturally walk in your door and really calculate how much you're spending on advertising, it's at least $500, $600 a car, at least. And some dealers more. I'm more than that. To be, you know, it's a crazy number. I need more of these referrals walking in the door, just to balance out the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
What are you paying for referral?
I actually changed it from 100 to 150. And the number of referral, the excitement on the referral was, you know, you'd ask the guys at the dealer. It was like night and day. That 150 mark, for whatever reason, just got people out there signing other people up to do it.
Is that the maximum that you're paying?
My dealership is 150 and 50. So I'm paying a max. So I average 175 a customer out there. 107, but again, I'll pay that all day long to get a higher gross customer into my dealership. Again, I average $400 a car higher on referral deals than non-referral deals.
So you get reports on your sales?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is it live or monthly? Or?
It's live. I could tell you, if you're a salesman, how many referrals you had every week. You know, again, I don't want to get into the details of the process, but you know, everything's verifiable. You can't gicky the system, to be honest with you. Your accounting office won't say, oh, you didn't sell a car to Bob, because they confirm everything prior to any money's getting distributed.
Administratively, are you expensing that or putting it into the cost of the car?
It's dealer choice. I charge it against the deal. Like most people charge bird dog fees against the deal.
Let's do an expense.
Can this be personalized?
For a large dealer group, it's the front page is Easy Referral Network. On the debit card, the dealer's name is on the debit card. But when you say personalized, what do you mean?
That's more like what I was speaking of.
Yeah, on the debit card, the dealer's name is on the bottom of the debit card. And think about that. Just like I pulled it out of my Italian rubber band, that's the way we hold our money. But anyway, if you think about that, if you think about this orange card sticking out of somebody's wallet or purse all day long, what are they doing? They're thinking about your dealership. They're thinking about you. This is reloadable. This is reloadable. This doesn't get tossed. It stays in the customer's wallet, completely reloadable. And there's some Nissan dealers that are in the other thing. They'll tell you sort of what my dealership's performance has been over the last year. So, you know, there's some local guys that are Nissan dealers that, you know, basically now I'm sort of telling them what we're doing inside the store. But this is one of the main ways I'm moving my business.
How's the money getting triggered? Is it getting triggered based on when it gets sold?
Here, slide up a little bit.
On a certain day of the month?
Here. See where it says sold delivered over here, 203? Sold delivered means a finalized deal. Sold pending means it's a locate, not approved through credit, not in the accounting office yet. There is somebody, my BDC manager is the person that manages, boom, that's a finalized deal. I press the money, it triggers a weekly payment to everybody. But now think about this when you add in a salesperson, and I'm talking about a salesman investing in themselves $79 a month. Think about it. I'm a salesman. I'm willing to invest $79 a month. Doesn't cost the dealer a penny. This is a salesman's expense that I give you your own website, your own 800 number that's monitored, your own why buy from me personally. Not only why buy from Sansone Jr. 66 Auto Mall, why buy from Paul Sansone Jr.? Because I'm in this club, this is my beliefs, this is my organization. Now you take the power of social media and you tie in the Easy Referral Network, that's where it goes on steroids. Not by me actually signing up every customer that I walk into. It's you using the salesman, using his own personal networking Facebook and LinkedIn pages and everything else, because we have a link in that they can sign up people right on their Easy Referral Network through their own personal webpage. And they pay for it. Tell me you won't have a motivated salesperson. I'll be honest with you. I'm using it as a bonus for the guys that hit 15 deals and up. I pay the $79 a month. What the hell do I care? Seriously, what do I really care? It's $79 a month. But if you're a dealer, you know, this is totally separate, but puts this on steroids. You get out there with social media, you know, you can like Sansone Jr. 66 Auto Mall on Facebook, but you really like whoever the person is that's at my dealership.
So can you set this up in a, I know you said you only have 2 levels, but a tier as far as maybe someone is bringing you multiple deals, if they bring you 3 instead of 150, it goes from 150 to 175?
No, again, we, by NADA, we are going to have multiple platforms, but really the dealer, let's think about 99% of the dealers out there right now don't have a process. 99% of the dealerships out there do not have a real process for asking for referrals. And when you get back to the math, which is what this is all about, when you have a 50% closing rate on B-backs, referrals, and networks, how could we miss? I mean, really, the math just tells you got to spend some time, energy, and effort into this way to sell cars.
One last question. 'Cause this is
Ask a million of them, Rico.
awesome. I actually I owned, prior to the little real estate market challenge, I owned 3 real estate offices. And I stopped selling and just was paid from my agents. And this is powerful. We used to go into, you couldn't pay them commission because you had to have a real estate license. But a lot of times, like churches and things of that nature would love these things because it was a bonus to them. Can you, I know you mentioned larger dealerships, but can you customize?
You can go outside. Yeah, by NADA, be honest with you, this is going to be not only auto specific, but yes, in a few months it will be industry flexible. Right now it's designed for auto. This is the web page, just so you could see. This is one of my salesmen. This was one of my biggest advocates. And again, he's linked in. This is my dealership's web page. He's linked into the Easy Referral Network. Why buy from him? You know, so this is what I'm teaching my salesmen. Part of our product is we're going to have training videos for the salesmen on their websites, product videos. If you're a Nissan dealer, you're going to have Nissan videos on your website. Again, making that salesman, the whole goal is get the salesman engaged and make them a business within your business. And the person that benefits the most is the dealer. And that's what he wants.
Let me just add a small note to that. We all look for immediate gratification in this world today. Agreed? You put a potato in the microwave, man, you want it in a few minutes. You don't want to wait 30 minutes for it to bake in the oven anymore. And what's happened is we've looked for that in the products that we buy for our dealerships as well. We're looking for immediate gratification. Did it work? Did it not work? Does it have a process leading to it, or it ends up being a technology that's unused, right? So we've got those issues going on. What you have to think about is, where do you want to be a year from now? What do you want to change in the process that's going to turn the ship a certain angle to where you're going to get the benefit of this? Now, in my book, you guys can spend all the money in the world on advertising and marketing to get more people in the dealership. And I've heard it said here in many different venues from many different products, if you don't meet the customer's expectations when they get there, why spend the money in the first place? So when you look at this product, you got to think to yourself, this is the ability to take a salesperson, the one individual where the rubber meets the road, where we've said 100 times that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and put in their hands all the tools that you have as a full dealership. So we give them this website, and this website looks like a national scaled website with all the things about your dealership, the manufacturer that you have, your inventory is on it. There's a search engine in there for them to find used cars, and it's under lock and key so a customer can't hit it. Imagine them being at a party and somebody saying, I want a Ford F-150, Lariat truck, crew cab, all loaded up, can't be more than 30,000 miles, got to be a 2010 or 11, black. Well, we don't have one. I'll call you when we get one. No, let's go to my website. I'm going to find you one right now.
Well, I'm going to make this simple. If we don't get the salesman back in the game, us as dealers are in real trouble. If you think about it, we have the most educated consumers coming into the least qualified sales force in the industry ever. You have the highest turnover the industry has ever experienced. You know, and what does that lead to? That leads to just greeters, and hopefully nice greeters. And most of us don't even have nice greeters, which is what the problem of the industry is. This industry is a sales relationship business. We have to get the salesman engaged. That's really what my process is all about. Get the salesman engaged, give them the tools to do it. I've got a product, but hopefully whatever you do, that's my mission, is get my salesman back engaged in the program and selling cars. Relationship selling works, and I thank you for your time.